Hi everybody, welcome to the Astrological Update with Astro Wizard Mark McNutt. That's me. And so we're coming at you here from Oregon, and springtime and everything's in bloom, and we wanted to do it outside, but everybody's being springy out there. So this is Gemini times here. The new moon in Gemini just happened. There's a lot of exciting news with Saturn and Neptune entering new signs, and Uranus also, Jupiter. Basically, the whole deck is being reshuffled right now. So, in contemplating what to tell you all as an overview, not as like a personal reading, because what you should do is you should get your personal reading, but I like to comment on the overview and go beyond all the shortcomings of now, all the politics, all the fear, all the other stuff that's in the air. I mean, it's a chicken and egg thing where there's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on politically. So it's sort of like it's what causes what. Well, the influence of the planets are very powerful, and regardless of how astrophysicists like to, they don't understand the universe, but they know that astrology doesn't work. There's a lot of givens that they're being reshuffled right now. They're really changing. But one thing that's really important is many of the signs, many of the outer planets, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto, if you want to count Pluto in the winter, everything's changing signs right now. So it's a whole different ball game. Last month was a time of endings and completions and just saying goodbye and finishing up loose ends. Now we're at a place where personal initiative is really going to make a winning strategy. Very important to tune into what is your new dream, what is it that you want to make manifest here on the earth, and that's how we're going about it. And each of us is aligned with different aspects of what's going on. So we have the planets are not unified in one place where a person could make a statement. Just the fact that Sun and Moon are in Gemini right now, and new moon and all that. Well, that doesn't reflect to the rest of the world with Venus and Taurus, and with Uranus and Taurus, and Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries. It's all changing. And how do you want to be with that change? How do you want to be with the wave of it? First of all, I want to give us some good news, which is that the scientists have recently, and I'm not big on conspiracy theories, so this is like well-founded. Scientists have discovered that that trees communicate through the neural net, particularly when there's eclipses, solar eclipse about to happen. They send electromagnetic signals to each other about impending eclipses and warn each other and prepare by way of how much how much the chloroplasts are working, how much natural sugars in there to prepare for these events of solar eclipses and other power times. And it's an electromagnetic grid thing. It is my belief that astrology works on electromagnetics, that there's subtle vibrations that affect all of us, affect the magnetite in our brains. So we are affected by the planets, whether or not we would like to be. There's certain signs that actually, and I think of Capricorn, for example, and Taurus, men and men in general. There's certain signs where people want to think that they're the captains of their own fate and that nothing is decided. Well, nothing is decided, but what is strong is intention. Intention is a lot of what carries the day here. So if your whole intention is to fight against fear and fight and battle and that sort of thing, well, what's going to happen is the forces of fear and the forces of conflict are going to be strengthened by that, going to be strengthened by the resistance. So what do? Well, you move forward to something. What's your own dream? What is your own unfulfilled aspect that you're confronting right now and coming into focus? So the point of Saturn and Neptune being in conjunction, which happens over the next year, it's like it's going on now, it's going on at the end of the summer, it's going on next January. Saturn conjunct Neptune, because they're both outer planets, have a wide orb, and so they move together. They go. They're moving into Aries together. They're going retrograde together a little later, and Saturn has to do with the grounding and the rooting and long-term commitments. And Saturn moving into Aries means everything changes rapidly. All the people that I've done readings for who are Saturn in Aries, and that would be, say, people born in the early 70s and the mid-90s, mid to late 90s, and before that too, Saturn and Aries people, they need to change their occupation a lot. They need to change what they're doing and their focal point. So we can expect that over the next 2.5 years. That Saturn in Aries is sort of learning to respond to the moment and being here now. I always loved that Baba Ram Dass, who I met once, he was an Aries, and he was famous for writing "Be Here Now," which is just the Aries advice right there. I always thought that he should write his autobiography and call it "Was There Then." But anyway, Saturn moving into Aries is about being in the moment, and it's 2.5 years of that. And we couple that with Neptune moving into Aries. Neptune will be in Aries for 15 years or so. Neptune is about the dream, the vision. So Saturn and Neptune come together. They conjunct every about 35 years or so. This happened right before I was born in 1952, 53. A lot of changes during that time. This happened again in the late 80s, early 90s. The Berlin Wall came down. The dream of people that they could be actually liberated actually did happen. So it's important to remember Saturn and Neptune coming together again, and this being a 1.5-year cycle, not like a this week kind of a thing, but they're coming together, and there's a strength and a unification with the dreaming right now, and the dreaming coupled with the doing. So it's not enough to dream or have a vision right now. It's important to take action, and taking one step, whether or not it seems as if that's going to liberate you, that's going to fulfill your destiny or whatever. It's not as simple as that. It's like each step leads to the next. And so I know that a lot of us now are challenged by the political scene right now, and there is a lot going on there. And I don't see, I want to be able to give the advice of, this is just a passing phase. And it is, but it's a passing phase in the sense of years, not months or days. So there's a strong vibration in the air of redoing, and it's redoing the structures, and this is something that can happen for the benefit of humanity, or it can happen for personal means and all that. And so it's like, what do you want to invest in? What do you want to invest your intention in? Because if you invest in fear and resistance, the struggle strengthens the opposing forces and makes us weak. So it's important with Aries. Aries is about finding the personal strength. So Sun and Moon in Gemini, new moon. New moon is a time of new beginnings. It starts with Gemini. Jupiter's also in Gemini, and Venus will go into Gemini in a couple of weeks. So Gemini is about being in the moment and about communication and sharing the duality and sharing the juggling. So picture, the juggler is like happy keeping the balls in the air, and it's not a time for, okay, this is stability, because the stability, which happens with earth signs primarily, and the only thing that's going to be in earth even over the next month is Uranus, and Uranus also moving into Gemini. So it's not a time of stability. So picture, how do you want to keep 3 or 4 balls in the air? Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a time of motion and a time of centering within the motion. So that's the big picture. Now bear in mind as I say this, it may sound generalistic, but that's because I'm talking to 12 different signs right now, and you have your sun sign, 12 signs, you have your moon sign, 12 signs, you have your rising sign, 12 signs. Already that's, 1,728 possibilities. So so you are 1 in a billion, and your own map is very individual right now, and I'd love to help you look at the map and unravel it. But this is a time generally of powerful reorientation and reigniting. So bear in mind, the winter months were very much a time of release and completion and surrender and that sort of thing. Now we're at a time of taking action, and that's just starting to take hold. There's not a lot of earth, not a lot of grounding at this time, so the important thing is to be centered in your movement. So think about what that means to you, being centered in your movement. With Aries comes, and with Gemini both, comes the short attention span and the being in the moment and being having an entertaining time. So summer is looming. There's new possibilities. There's hope. With spring brings new flowers, brings new inspiration, and I'd love to talk to you about your personal map and navigating these times, because each person has an individual power that's very important right now and coming to the forefront. So your contemplation, your homework is, what do you have to bring to the table right now that's interesting, unique, and moves energy forward in your personal life and in the lives of others. And so that's your contemplation for now. Beyond that, get your personal reading done. It is so helpful, and I'm happy to serve at astrowizardry.com and astrowizardry@gmail. And I'd love to hear from you. A lot of my regulars checking in, and I'd love to hear from new people as well. So okay, so it's been fun talking to you. I'm sorry I don't have a cat right now. They ran away when they saw the camera. So wishing you well, happy spring, happy summer coming up, and find your own personal bliss, because that's the next chapter.